I'm a professional figure skater, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to do a backflip on ice. Now if you're a seasoned pro and you're wanting to learn this backflip, or you're just someone that's curious to see how we do it on the ice, I'm going to take you through the step-by-step process when we learn it on the floor to then eventually getting it on the ice. So if you guys are ready, let's get into step number one. Alright, so step number one is going to be, what is your purpose for doing it? Like for me personally, I've made a career out of doing backflips on the ice. If you want to go down the route of doing shows like I did, then it's a perfect trick you should have in your arsenal because it just makes you stand out from the rest. I would say it's quite a relatively easy trick to learn, but it does take determination, and you need to make sure that you don't give up. You need to stay consistent with it, and you need to make sure you keep pushing through right till the end. Okay, so step number two is, before you even think about doing a backflip on the ice, is you need to make sure you can do it on the floor. And before you can even do it on the floor, you need to try and take it on the trampoline. So the way I learned a backflip all them years ago was by first being able to do it super consistent on a trampoline. Find yourself a trampoline park, or just if you've got one at home, just make sure you try and learn the backflip on the trampoline first so it becomes second nature. You can do it with your eyes closed, and then you can make your way onto the floor. So yeah, step two would definitely be getting it super consistent on a trampoline where it feels second nature, and then we can take on step three, which is doing it on the floor. Alright, so now we're at step three, which is doing it on the floor. So if you can do it on the trampoline super consistent and it's nice and clean, then you're ready to take it to the floor. One of the first things that I'm going to give advice on is when you're starting to learn backflip on the floor, is you always want to have your feet at about shoulder length. When you take off, you're going to do a nice bend, throw your arms back, and then let your knees do the rest of the work. We have to make sure that when we're doing the backflip on the floor that we have the nice power, the rotation, and then everything's safe to take it on the ice. You will notice when you go to the ice, once you start adding some speed, it actually becomes a lot easier than doing it on the floor. So I'll show you a backflip now, and then I'll slow it down and you can see what it looks like. So yeah, what's going through my head when I'm doing a backflip on the floor is I'm trying to jump up straight, leap, throw my arms back, and then let my knees do the rest of the work. Being able to do a backflip and letting your knees do the majority of the work is going to help you out massively, even on the floor, but when you take it on the ice especially, because you can't just do it all with your arms. You have to throw your arms back, get in the air, and then let your knees do the rest of the work. So that's what it was like doing it on the floor. You can watch it back in slow-mo and learn, and you can figure it out how to do it yourself. Should be as comfortable as that before you take it on the ice. And that's it. So now we're going to make our way to step four. Alright, so now we're here, we've arrived on the ice, and we're going to be using these now. So just before we move on, I want to make it absolutely clear that the backflip is a high-risk jump. You are risking yourself going upside down, potentially even landing on your head if you don't fully rotate. It's something that if you don't rotate enough, you can land on your head, you can cause serious injury, or potentially never skate again. Make sure you master it and get every step nice and clean, ready to take it on the ice, because if you don't and you cut corners, you could end up seriously hurting yourself. I've been very fortunate that I haven't missed a single backflip in my career, but it's also because I trained myself to be consistent and never under-rotate it. You have to commit 100% every time you go for it. So for that reason, make sure that the backflip's perfect on the trampoline, then on the floor, and then we can take it on the ice. So now we've arrived here, we're going to take it on the ice. Alright, so now we've made it to the ice, and before we get started and trying anything on our own, we're going to do something called spotting. And what spotting is basically you've got some equipment here that I'm going to show you in just a second. You put it on and there's two people going to be either side of you, and they're going to help and assist you get the lift when you take off from the jump. And if you don't over rotate, they can also stop you from having a big crash on the ice, and it just builds up a bit of confidence. It helps you figure out how you feel in the air when you're doing it and how to prepare for a landing. So now I'm going to take you to the table. I'm going to show you what we use for spotting. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to go through each part of equipment that we use to learn certain tricks, and a lot of ice skaters learn new tricks and they find their own DIY way of making it work, but for the backflip, this way of doing it has stood for the test of time. Everyone that's learned backflip on the ice has used this in some sort of way, so I'm just going to break it down and go through every piece, so then you understand how it works, and then you can implement it when you're learning your own backflip. Alright, so first we're going to be using the weight belt. So I like to wear a weight belt, but you can use a normal belt or just anything that's got a bit of strength to it. I like to wear a weight belt because, as you can see, it's got the holes and I can tighten it up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fasten each piece of rope, or for example a towel, it could be a beach towel, could be a normal piece of rope. I'm just using this for example for now, but you're going to tie that on either side, and then the people that are assisting you when you're spotting doing the backflip, they're going to be holding either side of that. So yeah, we're going to start with the weight belt first. Alright, so now I've got that on, I'm not going to do it super tight straight away because of course we've got to attach the rope. Try and get it half and half. There you go, like that. And then we're going to do the same on this side. and there we go. So right now, what I would suggest doing is tightening up the belt so it's nice and snug. So that's squeezing me nice and tight. Whew. We're now secure, and we got two people that's able to hold on either side. So yeah, that's basically how people learn how to do backflips. When they're doing it on the ice for the first time, you have to have a spotter because it's just way too dangerous. You're not confident yet, and it's very scary trying it the first time, I promise. So it's good to have someone spotting. You're gonna have someone holding you, lifting like this. If you don't end up rotating fully, they can help you break your fall, or even they can help you flip by giving you more height when you take off. So definitely use this. It's gonna do you a huge favor just using this. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. Also for people, like when I first learned a backflip, I wanted to use a helmet just because, like I just mentioned, it's so nerve-wracking going for it the first time. You don't immediately know what it's going to feel like when you take off until you actually do it and commit. So for that reason, I would definitely suggest wearing a helmet. Nice normal crash helmet if you have one at home. If not, you can buy one for like $20. It's nothing, but yeah. Definitely recommend getting a helmet. It's for your safety, it's for security. And regardless of wanting to learn a backflip on ice, you have to prioritize your safety before doing this trick. So yeah, get yourself all the necessary equipment, and then we can go on to the next steps. And just for optional stuff, like I didn't use these, but I understand if people would want to, you can have your knee pads or like elbow pads just to give you that extra protection. We're not trying to be the confident guy learning it in his first attempt. Like, we're trying to overcome a trick that is scary and hard. So that's us with everything ready to go. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to call two skaters over to come and help me, and we're going to show you step 5, which is doing it on the ice with spots. Okay, so first and foremost, now we're here on the ice and we're going to do some spotting. But first of all, I just want to say, if you've come this far in the video, I want to say a massive thanks. And if you've learned some of the stuff already, it's a massive achievement just learning it on the floor already. So good job. Keep going, and I promise it will work out in the end. When you're on the ice, one of the first things I would recommend doing is quickly looking at the toe pick that you're going to be using to take off. When you're doing it on the ice, you have to use your toe pick to generate the power upwards. You can't just do it with flat feet like you would do it on the floor, because when you add speed, you need to have that friction that stops you dead, and then you can use that energy to take you up into the backflip. So for that reason, we're going to be using the toe pick. You pick into the ice like you would a flip jump or a Lutz jump, and then instead of rotating sideways into a jump like you normally would, you're going to throw your arms straight back, tuck your knees up, and let you do the rest of the work. Second thing to mention is when you're starting a backflip and you've got spotters with you, it's probably best that they start pulling you backwards so you get some speed before doing it. The last thing you want is confusion of like figuring out where the people are beside you before you even take off. You want to be focused, ready to go, and they can just pull you down the ice and you can just set yourself ready to throw your arms back. And the third thing, just try and enjoy yourself. Like, at the end of the day, you are learning a backflip. It's a crazy trick and it looks so good. So enjoy yourself, but make sure you're focused and you should be good. I found to give me a bit of comfort before doing it when I was first learning a backflip, as they're pulling me back, I would count out loud from 3, 2, 1, then go. And what that was doing for me was giving me that motivation to, when we came to the end of the countdown, I was ready to go no matter what. I was fully committed, in the zone, and ready to take off. So yeah, if you want to do that, it helps you out. It's up to you. You could have the spotters count you in, but I prefer to count myself in and then go for it. It's quite a weird feeling, the first one, because you lose a bit of orientation, because obviously you're not used to going upside down on the ice unless you fall on something else, which try not to. What you need to try and do is remember that you have been doing this on the floor, which is actually harder than doing it on the ice. So you're just repeating everything that you've been doing on the floor and then on the ice. Don't try and kick a hole in the ice with your toe pick. You want it to be a nice pick and jump. You don't see a gymnast do triple flips or whatever and they're super aggressive on the toes. It's a nice little jump, a flick, and off they go. And that's what we're trying to do on the ice here. You're not trying to really kick into the floor. You want it to make sure that it connects with the ice. You're moving your energy from going backwards to leaping up, and you don't need to use your toe pick burying it hard into the ice to do that. Just use a bit of momentum, pick, off you go. You can now make your way onto doing it on your own. But first I would recommend, and it's something I did because I didn't want to cut any corners, you can have one spotter skating beside you as you go in to do it on your own. They hold the back of your t-shirt and then you go and do it. That will give you the option that if you don't rotate enough, they can give you that assisted little whip around to make sure you land on your feet. Or it's just a confidence thing. Like when I was learning, I was a bit nervous. I wanted to make sure it was solid, so I had someone hold my side, hold my t-shirt just to get me once I got the harness this off. Now we've got the assisted backflip with the spotting, we've got it with one spotter, and now we're ready to try it on our own. So that's it, I think we're ready to take it on the ice. So the last thing you need now is make sure you weigh your equipment, because trust me, you'll thank me later if you don't and you hurt yourself. Well done guys, and let's show you how we do it. Now what you gotta do is figure out which way you're gonna take off. Now there's two ways of going into it. I'll show you my way of doing it, and then I'll show you just the normal basic version. But you just gotta find what works for you, what you're most comfortable with, and yeah, let's get into it. So the first way of doing it would just be by skating backwards. So I'll show you like this. You're gonna start skating backwards. You would go to pick and boom, like that. That's how you're gonna land it. Now I'm gonna show you my way of doing it, and this is where I'm most comfortable. So I'm gonna bring you down to the feet. So where you'd be skating backwards again, you're gonna cross and pop. And that's my way of doing it. And that's it guys, the only thing we have to do now is go for it. So if you've done every step by step and it's been perfect and you're consistent with every part, you're going to do it on the ice easy, feel confidence, be ready, and let's learn some tricks together. So the only thing to do now is some backflips. So let's do a backflip montage. Let's see how this goes. Doing it holding the phone. Let's see. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did, and I hope I've helped as many people as possible learn backflips on the ice. I wanted to bring out a video today that helped people and help them get better in their ice skating stuff with new tricks and things like that. Even if you're just curious and you aren't a skater, you can see how we do it on the ice, and it's a lot of fun. It tires the hell out of me. Oh, I'm shattered, but yeah. We got it done. If you did find the video interesting and you want to see me do more stuff like this, you can do me a massive favor by hitting the subscribe button, liking, and you can let me know what you want to see more of in the comment section. So I think that's going to be the end of the video guys. Thank you so much for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one. So peace.